I felt that the Southern Oregon Wine Institute really fits into what we're trying to accomplish here in Southern Oregon because it adds one critical piece, and that's credibility.
I think if we can have young people at an early age catch this passion for winemaking and grape growing, as is evidenced by some of the students at Umpqua Community College's Wine Institute, that's a real key to our future.
This is the opportunity to step onto the world stage with wine that's comparable with wines grown all over the world.
You cannot name a major wine growing region well known in the world that doesn't have a teaching facility as the core of its industry. They just don't exist.
It's an investment in the future, it's an investment in people, and it's an investment in this region.
It was pioneer photographer Peter Britt who first planted grapes in Oregon near Jacksonville in the 1850s. Britt would go on to experiment with several grape varieties, even establishing his own winery. Britt's eventual death in 1905, followed by Prohibition, effectively ended commercial winemaking in the state. 100 years after Peter Britt planted his first vineyard, Richard Summers set his own roots in Southern Oregon, establishing Hillcrest Vineyard west of Roseburg as the state's first post-Prohibition commercial winery in 1961.
It really wasn't until the 60s and 70s that some of the pioneers, we call them, of the Southern Oregon industry came to the Umpqua and Rogue Valleys.
They didn't benefit from any type of big capital cash flow into their business operations, so they struggled. They were small family operations.
Summer and Britt, pioneers in Oregon's fledgling wine industry, understood the potential of the region to produce great varietals. Those who have followed, men and women from all walks of life, medicine, real estate, marketing, even rocket science, have come here to realize their dream.
Part of our reason for trying to grow Tempranillo in America, and we were the first to produce fine Tempranillo in this country, was that others said it couldn't be done. That's a heck of a challenge.
We really thought we would end up in Napa or Sonoma, and came real close on buying a property in Sonoma. And at the end of the day, after about a year's worth of research, we settled in on Southern Oregon.
Oregon has risen to be the third highest wine grape producing state in the country, rivaled only by its neighbors California and Washington. While the Willamette Valley to the north is known primarily for its quality Pinot Noirs, Southern Oregon vineyards celebrate the ability to grow a vast range of wine grapes. The unique combination of soils, climate, and topography found here often draw comparisons to some of the finest wine-growing regions in the world.
This region is very diverse in terms of what it offers. Climatically, we have a wide range of climates over a very small area of a few hundred miles north and south and east and west. We have virtually everything that California has.
The wine industry in Southern Oregon has already seen substantial expansion over the last 20 years. With its mix of abundant, affordable agricultural lands and unmatched quality of life, many believe it is poised for even more significant gains in the not-too-distant future. This much-needed boost to Southern Oregon's fragile economy couldn't come at a better time. The decline of logging on public lands has created staggering double-digit unemployment and a shrinking economy. It has become obvious that Southern Oregon cannot rely solely on the timber industry for its economic future. Diversification is key.
The wine industry helps, our state in many ways. It helps it by providing stable jobs in a rural environment.
You have that credibility of a higher ed institution, one that's focused on our particular industry, and that just brings ripples of additional economic development to our region.
We have a capability with the infrastructure of the college and what they're providing educationally to also bring in other businesses that will complement the wine industry.
We'll see a lot of spin-offs, a lot of entrepreneurial with that wine focus will come out of that institution.
Communities in Southern Oregon came together in an effort to reinvent the area as a center for agriculture and tourism. To find a model for this regional makeover, business people and community members only had to look as far as the city of Walla Walla in southeastern Washington. In the late 90s, the wine industry in Walla Walla looked very much like Southern Oregon's today. The area was home to a handful of quality wineries, but was better known for its sweet onions and as the site of the Washington State Penitentiary. The local economy struggled. In 2000, Walla Walla Community College introduced its Enology and Viticulture program, and almost immediately the landscape began to change. Today, Walla Walla is home to over 120 wineries with about 1,100 wine-related jobs.
It's amazing, really. I mean, you can see great parallels with what happened in Walla Walla and how quickly that area grew, and the growth of the area and the program at the community college.
The key tipping point for Walla Walla was when Walla Walla Community College began their Enology and Viticulture program. That tipped the balance.
It's like somebody turned the telescope and all of a sudden pointed the focus there, and all of a sudden things started growing.
Really, I think that we will be on a par with Walla Walla in terms of our growth, and I hope our quality in the next 10 years.
If this kind of transformation can take place in a remote corner of southeastern Washington, imagine the possibilities in a region that is served by Interstate 5 and is home to the Umpqua Valley, already America's #5 wine destination.
We've got all of those things that attract tourists here already. If they can do that in Walla Walla, what's the potential for this area?
We're finding that over time, the wine segment is adding a great deal of value to our overall tourism industry and is generating a lot of income for the state of Oregon.
A study commissioned to look at the future economic promise of the Umpqua Valley wine industry concluded that Southern Oregon has the potential to add 5,000 wine-related jobs and $115 million in additional income, all within an 8-year time period. It was that potential that brought together educators, wine industry leaders, and business people from the 7 counties that make up the southwestern corner of Oregon. Born from that collaboration was a vision: the Southern Oregon Wine Institute, a comprehensive teaching winery to serve the current and anticipated needs of the region's most promising growth industry.
Many of the industry members here came without formal training in viticulture or enology, and they learned the hard way. But they've been very successful. It's a great climate to grow grapes, a great opportunity to make fine wine. But you want to give people now the opportunity to integrate into this industry with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more practical experience. That's what the Institute can offer.
Within 2 years, the first class of students was being admitted to Umpqua Community College's credentialed viticulture and enology program, the first of its kind in Oregon outside of the Willamette Valley. The program offers conventional classroom training as well as online hybrid instruction that reaches students in a 7-county area. Combined with a practical hands-on learning experience, it is already poised to make a significant impact on the regional wine industry.
What we're doing here is we're replicating what a small winery would look like and a small vineyard operation, and we're bringing the educational experience to the student as they're going through this.
Hands-on experience is I think one of the only ways to learn. It's with wine, you can read it in the book all you want, it's important. You've got to have your book background, but without doing it, you've never done it. You just don't know what to expect.
But the vision doesn't end there. High up on a hillside overlooking the UCC campus in Roseburg is where the hopes and dreams of the region's wine industry really take root. Surrounded by rows of trellises and newly planted grapevines, and bordered by the beautiful North Umpqua River, this is the future home of the Southern Oregon Wine Institute, a state-of-the-art commercial-scale winery, teaching facility, and event center.
We went out to the industry and said, asked the industry, what is it that you need in this training program? And one of the things that the industry said is that you want to have a full-scale winery experience. So they need to be able to deal with fermentation tanks. They need to have a bottling component. They need to have a tasting room. They need to sell their product to their customer. They'll do all of those kinds of things that they would do in a regular winery because this is a regular winery.
The Southern Oregon Wine Institute is in a position to provide not only a solution to the continuing need for skilled workers, but also to act as a resource and a catalyst as Southern Oregon's wine industry continues to evolve.
Southern Oregon is an exciting place to be, and I think this Wine Institute idea accelerates that excitement.
I think the Southern Oregon Wine Institute will be fabulous for the whole southwest area, not just Roseburg.
It's a great effort for us, and it'll have a great impact on our economy in the long term.
The one greatest thing the Southern Oregon Wine Institute will bring to this region is an identity around the wine industry and the education of the future of the wine industry.
Graduates from the first class already are enriching local wineries with their knowledge and expertise. Grapevines have been planted on the hillside overlooking the beautiful Umpqua Community College campus, and a vision is close to bearing fruit.